a piece of equipment over here, so it was just way easier to manhandle it. Okay, so the process is now going to be throwing in the very first rafter, which is going to tie in that column to that column, and then we're going to start building out this end wall in order to create some stability in the structure. The rafter is going to go up first, then these two end columns, and then we're going to tie it more together with the purlins. So as we're throwing up the big rafter with the sky track, then other people are going to be finding the purlins and staging them so that we can just throw material together. Let's build a wall.
Tilt my way. Tilt it. Yes, sir.
Now I got my slider in for the winding hole.
I have the impact. That's what I'm talking about.
So this is a really good tip. This column is kind of floating just a little bit for it to be difficult, and so what we typically drill these in place, but since it's kind of floating and not staying in place, we've aligned it, marked the center, and now I'm taking my time to get this started on my mark to make sure that it's centered. And then we can move this back into place now that I have it started. So on these girts, on the center, they're actually going to sleeve into the two outside bays. So as an example, that's going to go into that girt, and then whenever I have this girt into place, oh I do, it's going to go inside of that one. Another thing to note is that this is actually a doubled up girt, which is an engineering call whenever you're designing your building. So if you're going to be looking at your plans, you need to make sure it's going to say ×2 if it's a doubled up girt.
With ours, we're on the outside as well. And then you can hit yours in really quick because there's.
I need to go back your way. Give me 1 second.
Well, so you can get hers in really quick.
Cool. So going back to whenever we were cutting the knee braces out, we cut off the flange on both of these sides, but then we also came back and cut a corner off. That's to prevent this. So the very top of the corner of this flange is interfering and not allowing me to line up my holes. It's not a big deal. We just take it off, nip off that corner. My way? Or it's our way? It always feels good to get efficient at something. That's a really fun part of the process. First one always takes you to school, as Jimmy DeRessa says, but then you start becoming efficient.
Monty Python, 1, 2, 3, sir.
So what we do whenever we get it up here is Jacob needs to take off the bolt from the previous purlin. Then this one needs to nest inside of that one, and then the bolt goes through both of them. But since I know that it's going to have to be taken off, I'm only hand tightening my side. But after he puts that bolt in, he'll go ahead and use the impact in order to drive it down. And I can line up my holes, like so. Throw in a nut. All right, nobody fall off the ledge.
Yeah. Okay, let me try and get it.
Clamp it on.